Wonderful. Good morning, everyone. We are looking forward to our 30th Ifso Journal Club. It will be on 14th of January at 1400 Central European Time. The registration is now open. It will be broadcast live then, but it will also be recorded and you will be able to watch it afterwards. I'm really honored to have with me here Dr. Andre Costapino. He is assistant professor in the medical faculty at Porto University. He is a doctor in the integrated responsibility unit at St. João University Medical Center in Porto, Portugal. Andre, welcome. Thank you very much for a wonderful paper. Our listeners are looking forward to the journal club. But before the journal club, I have a couple of questions to get people excited about this paper. I read it with great interest, and I have a couple of questions for you. The first question which I have is that your paper showed that there is little difference in weight loss between sleeve gastrectomy and gastric bypass in the first 2 years after surgery. And even that little difference disappears after 3 years. What's your personal interpretation of that, Andre?
Well, first of all, I'm very honored to be here. Thank you for your kind invitation. About the question you asked, we know that bariatric surgery has suboptimal results in this difficult subset of patients with super obesity. It's not easy to reach that standard weight loss outcomes seen in other non-super obese patients. In my opinion, loss of follow-up especially affects patients with worse results. So I think that in this group of super obese patients, even though they lose a lot of weight after bariatric surgery, but this suboptimal or even insufficient weight loss leads to increased loss of follow-up. The remaining patients, those with acceptable results, are likely to have comparable results between these two groups. Our results are limited by this short follow-up presented in studies we analyzed. For example, our meta-analysis only recruited less than 1,000 patients with follow-up beyond 24 months. Additionally, we know from recently published studies that patients submitted to sleeve have a significant probability of required conversion or revisional procedures because of GERD, for example. And those patients may also affect our interpretation of these results. It's my opinion.
Thank you very much, Andre, for a wonderful answer. The second question which I have for you is that the data which you got in your paper was pulled from low quality studies. And do you think it's about time to compare the effectiveness of sleeve gastrectomy and gastric bypass in people who are affected by very severe obesity in a randomized study?
Well, it would be very interesting to perform such study. However, I think it would be rather difficult because nowadays we try to tailor the bariatric surgery to the specificities of the patients. When we try to choose the right operation for the right patient, we take into consideration different variables like gender, BMI, comorbidities, endoscopic findings, and so on, and even the personal motivation of the patient. And it would be rather challenging to blindly randomize patients to sleeve or gastric bypass in this context. At least we have to consider patients with GERD and esophagitis or Barrett esophagus and exclude them for the sleeve gastrectomy. I think that in super obese patients, that are one of the most difficult subset of obese patients, this kind of tailored decision is even more important to prevent complication than to try to enhance outcomes. So academically speaking, it would be very interesting, but it seems rather impractical and somehow unethical to do so. I think that what we need most is more data from prospective studies with long-term follow-ups and reporting outcomes in the standardized fashion.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Andre. I'm really looking forward to our journal club. And in the meantime, I wish you and I wish everybody who is listening to this wonderful Christmas and New Year, wonderful holidays. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye. Merry Christmas. Bye.
Bye.